Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Superchunk Super Audio Show. First things off, before we get into today's review, there is one thing I want to say. Thank you guys for the 300 odd of you that have subscribed to the channel. I would like to let you guys know first that I'll be doing a giveaway when I hit 500 subscribers. I know the number sounds a bit big, but honestly we are like more than halfway there. And what I'll be giving away is a pair of Final E2000. So to participate in this giveaway, all you have to do is to be subscribed. So if you are watching and not subscribed yet, please subscribe and yeah, you got a chance to win. Anyways, the odds are better than winning a lottery, right? Anyways, with that, let's dive in deep into today's review. Let's go! So today's episode will not be a surprise for you. I have previously briefly covered this earphone back in my top 3 IEMs less than $100 US. Yes, you're right, this is the Thieaudio Legacy 2. Just that, this time round, I have heard it for several hundreds of hours, so I think I'm in a better position to tell you what I really feel about them. Just a bit about Thieaudio. Thieaudio is the brand of Linso. Now, who is Linso? Linso is an online retailer that sells lots of chi-fi products. I am not affiliated in any way with them at all, but if they want to be affiliated to me and want to send me free stuff, hey, why not, right? Thieaudio is the brand of Linso, and Thieaudio for the past year, I think they started in 2019, they released some IEMs including the Monarch, the Oracle and the Clairvoyance, and they have been quite popular. I haven't had the chance to listen to them, but you know, that's okay. Anyways, we're talking about the Legacy 2 today. Starting with the build quality, now the Legacy 2 consists of a single beryllium dynamic driver that has its own proprietary closed back and also a single balance armature. In terms of build quality, it is as with any other custom universal type shape earphone that you've been seeing in the market for a while now. There is nothing really remarkable about it. It has a very lovely sapphire blue chassis that has a faceplate that has some shimmer to it. Honestly, I think the shimmer looks very 2D. I wouldn't say it's very pretty. It's pretty for $99, but is it the prettiest thing since sliced bread? No, not really. But hey, it's $99. Can't complain much, can you? So yes, it doesn't look particularly expensive, but what they do look like is that they look rather delicious. Please do not give your children these earphones, they might eat them. Please don't, just don't. I'm not sure if that's even funny. In terms of termination, the Legacy 2 has a flush 2-pin connection. Now a flush 2-pin is great if you are the type of person who likes to cable roll. You can change them with any other 0.78mm 2-pin cables and you will not have the, you know, sometimes they don't extend so much, and if it's a recessed socket, they don't fit very well. You can rest assured that they will fit quite well. With the only trade-off is that, well, you know, now it's quite fragile where you're only connected to the earphone via two pins and they can bend quite easily. So in terms of reliability, I still prefer the recessed socket, but you know, flush or not, it's fine. It's $99. If it breaks, I will kind of see whether I can get my warranty claim on them. So yeah, by the power of editing magic, I forgot to talk to you about the cable. But that's okay, I'm gonna add it in right here. The cable of the Legacy 2, as you can see, looks like silver, feels like silver, but I can tell you, although they did not really mention it, it's probably silver plated copper. Do not think that you're gonna get silver cables at $99 US. Do you know how much 1 gram of silver costs these days? Quite a lot of money, more than the earphones itself probably. Yeah, they are actually very well built, to be honest with you. They are very comfortable. It is your usual tried and true braided sort of cable that is quite popular a while back. Honestly, I'm quite bored of them, but yeah, they do nothing wrong. It's mated to a 3.5mm jack that has a 2-pin connector. Pretty much box standard, nothing super great to shout about, but yeah, it is there and it's quite nice. So next, let's talk about fit. This is extremely important. There are some IEMs that I have reviewed. I love the sound absolutely. I'm looking at you, the Sony IER Z1R. You sound great, but your fit don't even fit me very well. I can't hear them for longer than 15 minutes. But with the Legacy 2, it is very different. The Legacy 2 fits me like a dream. So I can have them in my ears and there is no hot spots. Nothing really sticks out. They fit well. Yeah, I can't really complain much. They don't even fall on my ears, so they are great.
Pilot! Yeah, he's a pilot! Great!
Sound. Let me just briefly cover the sound characteristics of the Legacy 2. The Legacy 2 has a U-shaped signature. What this means is that there is an emphasis on the sub-bass that tapers off when you transition into the mid-bass and later into the mids. It continues to crescendo when you reach into the upper mids and treble. In terms of tonality, it is vastly different from the others in its price range, such as the Arias or the E3000 that I mentioned in my top 3 video. The Legacy 2, on the other hand, does not have a warm, neutral sort of sound. It is the complete opposite. It actually sounds neutral, cold. So if you're expecting very thick, velvety vocals, these are probably not the ones for you. Sub-bass is actually quite decent. It is very prominent, there is good texture, but when it transitions to the mid-bass, I can't actually say the same. Mid-bass, they sound rather soft and weak. Somehow, the transience of the mid-bass doesn't really suit the Thieaudio Legacy 2. I find them to... You know, when I was doing music and when we're playing in an orchestra, what the conductor or what you're taught to do is to play together. Somehow I think there's a bit of a misjointment between the sub-bass and the mid-bass, and because of this, the mid-bass sounds actually weak. This is especially so when the mid-range isn't so prominent in terms of signature. It is already recessed, but because it doesn't really gel so well together, the sub-bass, they sound a bit muffled. And in terms of resolution, I don't think that they are the aces of ace. Talking more about the transients of the Legacy 2. Based on the Legacy 2, it's done by the single beryllium close-back dynamic driver, and it does sound fast. But the issue comes when you're comparing it to the mid-range that is done by the balanced armature. There is a bit of a mismatch with this. Because of this mismatch, bass tends to sound a bit slower compared to the mid-range, and there's a bit of disjointedness that I don't particularly fancy. The mid-range of the Legacy 2 is like that of Elsa and Ice Princess, for those of you who have kids and watch Frozen very often. Yeah, it's basically very cold, transparent. If you're looking for warmth, look away. It's just like how... Is it Elsa? Is that her name, Elsa? Whatever, the blue one that freezes the whole city over, it sounds like that, transparent and cold.
If you're looking for warmth, let it go.
Yeah, if you're looking for, let it go. Don't tell our kids that they might pee over the floor.
Oh my God.
The truth of the matter is that the pristine quality can be even better if there was no bass in the music. This is what I was hinting at previously when I talked about bass. When the bass comes in, it kind of destroys the pristine quality of mid-range. Things sounds better when the DD isn't working. It might sound really terrible here, but at the end of the day, truth be told, these earphones are actually quite capable. I am just being extremely strict about it because I find that it is a bit of a missed opportunity at the end of the day. So because of that, whenever bass comes in, it adds a layer of cloudiness. Just like when Elsa farts and causes a cloud of fog all over the city, this is exactly like that. So in short, the bass kind of ruins the mid-range. So if you really want to listen to these earphones in a very clean and pristine manner, I would highly suggest that you listen to acoustic music, as they sound very pristine anyway. That being said, honestly, mid-range performance with instruments, it is actually quite decent. It is exceptionally good if you haven't compared to higher-end IEMs. When you hear higher-end IEMs, these will sound a bit veiled, but you know, if you are just starting out, just dabbling in earphones that are sub $200, honestly, the Legacy 2 does a rather good job. Just don't hear high-end IEMs and your mind will forever be ruined. Treble. As I mentioned earlier, the Legacy 2, it's a U-shaped IEM, so when it comes to treble, it becomes a bit more emphasized. And what you get is the usual very nice crackle and sizzles from the hi-hat and cymbals. But one thing that the Legacy 2 does different is that they don't really play on the transients of the trebles. When the crashes come, you do hear them, but they very quickly decreases into oblivion, so you do not get a lot of that grittiness that comes with treble. On the whole, I do not find these IEMs to be extremely airy as you get with IEMs that have very excellent treble presentation. They are not very airy, but honestly, I'm not expecting them to be because those are features of IEMs way above its price point. Moving on to Soundstage. Soundstage, to be honest with you, on the Legacy 2 is actually quite competent when the bass don't come in. They actually sound pretty wide with acoustic music. If you're listening to acoustic music, as I said, you can really get a good sense of space that is available in these sorts of music. But when you are trying to listen to pop, rock, or more modern music, then it's a different story. When the bass comes in, everything sounds smaller due to the mismatch in transients response. So if you're listening to acoustic, use these. If you're listening to not acoustic music, maybe listen to something else. But yeah, next point to follow would be the positioning and depth. Honestly, depth on the Legacy 2, it's actually rather good. You can hear the deepest parts of the music mix and the most forward parts of it. Those you have no problems. But the issue comes with regards to positioning is that they sound a bit fuzzy. You can tell where instruments are coming from, but it is not pinpoint. It is actually a bit smeary sounding because you know where in which general direction is the music coming from, but you can't really point out exactly. So that is some of the quirks that I found with the Legacy 2. And finally, in conclusion, to be honest with you, I think the Legacy 2 is a decent earphone. I might be talking a lot about it because I find that it's a bit of a missed opportunity. This earphone is perfect for you if you're looking for a transparent-like quality to the earphone with acoustic music. I wouldn't say that these earphones are world beater in any means. If you're looking for a more well-rounded earphone, perhaps check out the Moondrop Arias. They are a bit warmer sounding, but I also do find them to be a bit more complete sounding than the Legacy 2. The Legacy 2 does one thing and does one thing really well, and that is acoustic music. I would really recommend this earphone for somebody who is looking to explore the other types of tonality that is out there. And at the sub $100 US, you do not really get much of the colder sort of sound that nobody really talks about. So if you really want to explore, honestly, these earphones are not too bad to do so. Anyways, thank you very much for watching the Super Chunk Super Audio Show. As I mentioned earlier in this video, I'll be having a giveaway when I hit 500 subscribers. This giveaway is not sponsored by anybody. I haven't even hit the 1,000 subscribers needed for me to be monetized to have money to do giveaways, and don't even have 4,000 hours of watch time yet. But for all of you that are watching here, I really appreciate it. I'm being serious this time around. No more talking about Elsa Piss. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. If you guys like the content so far, please kindly press the like and subscribe button below here and press the bell icon so that you'll be notified. I'm trying to do 2 videos every week these days. Yeah, I hope you like the content so far. If there is any IEMs that you want me to review, and if I can get them, I will try to get them. And yeah, that's that. Thank you guys so much for watching the Super Chunk Super Audio Show, and I hope to see you guys very soon.
Have you been watching something you shouldn't have been watching?
I haven't been watching Elsa. No, I haven't. That's not going in for sure.